Hello everyone, I am back with another recipe. Took a break there for a while, went on a vacation, went on a road trip, but now I am back. So I am coming at you now with my version of a jambalaya, or as most people know as jambalaya. I knew a guy from Louisiana, Cajun guy, and he said they never called it jambalaya. They always called it jambalaya because it comes from two words. Jumbo is a word for ham, and then lai is a word for rice. And so I'm going to show you my version of it today, the way I like it. I like it spicy. I'm going to throw in a little shrimp for my wife here. So the main ingredient I like in it is the meat. And what I got here is I make my own smoked. This is a beef sausage, and so I make it myself. I might do a video later on that, on how to make that. It's not that hard. Originally, you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, you can't use that. You got to use andalou sausage or andalou, how you want to say that. And you can if you want to, but it's got a lot of stuff in there that I don't like to eat. A lot of preservative stuff that you get because they sell it in the store, but these are made here in my kitchen, in my smoker, in my oven, so I know exactly what's in them. So it's healthy, it's good tasting, and that's what I'm going to use. I've also got 3 little Thai chili peppers here for some spice. These things are really spicy. I've got a Korean chili here, and then I've just got 2 sweet peppers. This is going to go in there. A couple of green onions, of course some white onion. That's all going to go in there. And I got me 3 big old cloves of garlic. It just ain't right if ain't garlic in it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my pot here. So what I got here is I got a 1 cup of brown rice. You can use white rice if you want. Actually, that's what most people use, a white rice, but the brown rice is a little bit more healthier, got more fiber in there. And for a keto diet, if you are going to eat the rice, I would suggest eating the brown rice because it's got more fiber in there, and it's less impacting on your blood sugars. So on them days that you decide, hey, I'm going to have some carbs and you want rice, do the brown rice. But whichever rice you use, whether it be white or brown, make sure you rinse that until the water is clear. Especially white rice, it's got a lot of starch in there and you do not want that starch. And so you need to run that rice underwater or put it in a bowl and rinse it out until that water is clear. That way you ain't got a big old starchy mess in your skillet. I got about a ½ pound of Patagonia shrimp here, the Patagonia pink shrimp. It's about the only shrimp that we can find that are wild caught. We don't like farm raised seafood, it's just not right. I'm gonna put a little tomato sauce in there. I got a little Spanish oregano. And for the stock I'm gonna be using chicken broth. And as much stock you put in there is whatever amount of rice you use. Like I'm using 1 cup of this brown rice. And so it calls for just over 2 cups of broth. It's like 2.1 cups of broth, so I've got that ready. Of course, salt and pepper and onion. Yeah, this is some good stuff here, so let's get going. So first I'm just gonna go ahead and, like I said, get my pan turned on here, get it hot. Again, I'm gonna use my stainless steel pan because it's gonna get hot and it makes that, we talked about that before, the fond down there. And so that's gonna help build what they call in culinary school a flavor profile. So it's gonna help get all the flavors going on. And so I've got that on heating up. And once that gets hot, I'll put my oil in there. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and get these onions chopped up. Just put this right over here. We're using the whole, the green and the white of the onion. Yeah, like I mentioned, I don't care for shrimp, but my wife loves shrimp, so we're going to put that in there. I'm not a seafood fan, I guess, due to the fact that when I was younger, we lived on the ocean, and we ate a lot of seafood. We used to wait for the big ships to come in, and they come in this channel, and the ships, they suck in all this water, these big tankers, and when they go by, it lets out all that water. And so the shrimp and crab would just be thrown up on the shore, and we get out with the buckets and we grab all these shrimp and crab, and you know, sometimes that's all we had to eat. And so I'm not I guess it's, I don't know, mental thing, I guess. So I got them chopped up here. Let's go ahead and get this whole white onion chopped up. We're just gonna dice it. There's no particular way of cutting it up. We're just gonna dice it up and get it in there because we are gonna cook it down, so it's gonna be soft. Yeah, just get it all chopped up. That's good enough for that. Okay, the onion is chopped up. Put that to the side there. And you can see there's no order here because with this, the onion and the garlic will be cooked first. You know, you want to cook that down. But the rest of the stuff, it don't make no difference which order it goes in there. So it don't make no difference how you put it in there. And the garlic, I'm just slicing it in Then slicing it again, just not too small, not too big, just slicing it up. Usually you'll see me make a paste with it, but for this, it's not required a paste. Because I like the little chunks of garlic when you eat into your jambalaya there. It's just a nice little crunch. Got that cut up. Now I'm gonna cut up the spicy peppers here. The little Thai chilies are really hot, but this little Korean red pepper here, it's not mild like say a sweet pepper, like a bell pepper, but it does have a little heat, especially when you keep the seeds in there, and I always keep the seeds in there because we like food a little spicy in this house. Sometimes it's really spicy, and yeah, you gotta be careful. And always, after you get through cutting these chilies up, especially the spicy ones, you want to go to the sink and wash your hands, but I'm not going to do that right now because I'm just going to remember not to touch my eyes. I'm going to cut this meat up here. I just cut it little 1/4 slices because we're going to put that in there, and we're going to start cooking that down slowly after the onions are done because you want to get all that flavor coming out of the meat and start, like I said, start building up that flavor profile. And this sausage here, it is all beef with just a little bit of pork fat in there because when you're making sausage at home, you need to make sure you got some fat content. And this is pretty lean beef, so had to add a little pork in there, a little pork fat. But just spices, just like a regular beef summer sausage. It's just not summer sausage, but like a Polish sausage, a kielbasa. Except there ain't all that preservatives and all that stuff that you don't know what it is in there. It's just good, wholesome ingredients. So get them peppers out of the way, the meat sliced up. Get that pan on a little hotter. There we go. We'll get that in there. Okay, that's almost there. Put that into onions and cut up. Now these are the sweet peppers. These are really good. I just like them cold sometimes. Put a little salt on them or whatever. And again, there's no particular way to cut them, just however you want them. Gives them a pretty good size of there because you get that color. It mixes in with the rice and the meat when it's a finished dish. And of course, like I said, I always leave the seeds and everything in there because them seeds add vitamins. And with these peppers, they're not hot, so it don't make no difference. But if you do have the little, like the pep in there, the little pulpy stuff, if it's got too much in there, I would suggest removing that because that can really ruin a mouthful of good tasting food. So just set them to the side. I should learn to keep me a garbage bowl sitting there if I just throw this stuff in there. There we go. You know, I did a lot of cooking in restaurants and I didn't use the garbage bowls because when you're a chef in a restaurant, you got soup cooks and dishwashers that come behind you and clean up your mess. So, but when you're cooking at home, your wife ain't playing that game. So you got to go ahead and get it done somehow. Got that heat up there. You can tell by the shade the pan is getting hot. So yeah, this is a pretty simple dish, but it's very tasty. And it is going to have rice in there. But if you didn't want to add the rice, you just want to make the meat part and vegetable part of it, you can just cook that and it's done. You can put that on like a cauliflower rice or just put it in the plate and eat it. That's just the way it is. That's really fantastic. But with this, today we're going to have rice in there and shrimp. Except for the rice, everything here is keto. I know you got sweet peppers and the onions and going to have some tomato sauce. But unless you're eating the whole pan of this food, it's not going to affect your carbs at all. Because this is broke down into, you probably get about 8 or 9 servings out of this. So you're probably getting 3 to 4 carbs per serving. So it is not worth mentioning. Except for the rice. You put the rice in there, then it is going to have you more carbohydrates, but just everything but the rice, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Unless you're going to eat the whole pan, and then you might want to, well, you got other issues going on there. But anyway, all right, that pan is hot. I'm going to put some oil in it. And I used avocado oil because it's got a really high smoking point, so it can get really hot. And we do a lot of Asian cooking in our home, so we need stuff to get really hot without burning and smoking. And avocado does it. There's no bad flavors. You use olive oil. You don't want to cook with that because when it gets hot, it produces some nasty stuff. They say it's not good for you. But anyway, got that there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and now I can separate that green onion. And I'm going to throw in the garlic and the white onion in there and that oil. So there we go. You want to hear that. If it ain't hissing at you, it's not cooking, it's just soaking up all the grease. So Make sure that pan's hot enough to stay hissing at you. Get that in there, then we're gonna let that cook down for a bit. Just to get them sweating really good. And also this onion, since you're cooking the onion first, there's like a chemical in it that's gonna come out and it's gonna help your stainless keep from sticking from like an anti-stick coating on it. So it's a win-win situation there. Oh, it smells good. Garlic and onions, can't beat it. Okay, like I said, just a minute or two, the onions are sweating down. So now we're gonna go ahead and toss in the sausage here and get that cooking down. It's gonna be neat. And the shrimp, we're not gonna put the shrimp in there until the very last, after we add the water and the liquid to it and the rice. Then we'll put the shrimp in there and then it will just cook for the last 20 minutes of it, because shrimp cooks really fast. And if you're cooking it for the whole time, you're gonna have nice, chewy, no good shrimp in there. So we're gonna put that in there last when it's on a simmer so it won't overcook the shrimp. And the shrimp will absorb all the flavors and be a really nice tasting flavor. So we're going to get this sausage cooked down here and get the oil draining out of the sausage and mix it some onions. That's what the goal is here. And to get a little brown on them. Like I said, one day I might end up getting another camera here that way you guys can see what's going on in the skillet. But for now, that's just the way it is. I'll try at the end when everything's done to make sure you guys get a shot of it, but hopefully this is good enough for now. And while this is going ahead and cooking here, this is a perfect time for you guys to go ahead and click that like button, the share button, the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Okay, so these are cooking down. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and make sure the shrimp are here. Got to stop. So yeah, with the rice, like I said, I'm using one cup of the rice. And so with this rice, you gotta use, it's actually 2.1, it's like a 2 1/4 cups of broth with it, or water if you're using water, but for jambalaya, you can use broth. And so that's why I got this, it's a Pacific Foods Nourish. We get it at Costco, bone broth. It's really good. If you just want a cup of broth, put that in the cup, heat it up in the microwave, good stuff. There we go. The pan is starting to form that fond on the bottom we were talking about. It's a little like that brown stuff on the bottom of the pan, and that's really building up that flavor profile. And the sausage, you don't want to fry the sausage because you don't want that in there. You don't want burnt sausage in your jambalaya. So. Okay, that is about good. The sausage is hot, the oil's coming out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in the rest of this here, the rest of these sweet peppers. Put that in there. The green onions I add after I put the water in there. I'm going to put in these spicy peppers. Put that in there. Give it a good mix up. Ooh, that smells good. Get everything mixed up in there. And you can finish this off in the ovens. That's why another reason I like to use a stainless steel pan here. I've got the stainless steel, it's got the lid on there. And so if I wanted to, I could put the lid on after I put the rice and everything and stick it in the oven and finish it off in the oven, don't have to worry about the stove top. But today I'm not doing that. I'm just going to cook it on the stove top. So, but you want a pan that's got a really tight fitting lid, because you are cooking rice in there, so you want that steam to stay in there to make sure that rice is getting done, especially brown rice. Okay. All them peppers, you can smell them. Okay. Going to go ahead and give this a little hit of black pepper. And the sausage itself has got quite a bit of salt, so I'm just going to add a pinch or two in there. You don't need a lot of it. Probably about I don't know, half a teaspoon or so, not a lot. But you can always add more salt to it after it's in your plate. If it's not salty enough, just add it in there. Okay, got that mixed up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw in the rice here and get that all mixed up. And then I'm going to use the bowl that I had the rice in to go ahead and measure out the tomato sauce in there. just about a quarter of a cup, just to give it a little bit of color. And then I'm also going to use my little measuring cup here and the chicken broth. I'm going to mix it up in there. That way it's all mixed up together and it evenly distributes to the dish here. Let me give this all a good mix up here. And this might not be quote unquote traditional jambalaya or jambalaya, but this is the way I fix it and the way I like it. A lot of people can just fix it like this and don't even use rice, so fix the meat part and you put it in pasta if you want, that's fine. You know, it's your jambalaya, do with it what you want. But this is how I fix it. You really can't do it wrong. It's just like gumbo. The only reason you can do gumbo wrong is you don't get the roux right. Other than that, it's, you know, whatever you have in the kitchen, just throw it in there. That's how it came about. You know, poor people, they had to take what they had to feed a big family, so they put a little bit of everything in a pot, and that's how it comes about. That's 2 cups, and I'm just going to add a quarter more cup in there. That way the rice is going to get done. It's not going to be chunky and chewy. There we go. And a 1/4 cup more. So it's 2 1/4 cup. 2 1/4 cup. Give that a good mix up in there, get it all mixed up. Give this a good mix up here. Yeah, it's got some good fond in there. Now we're going to turn the flame, we're going to turn the fire down to low. Turn your heat down to low. Whatever your setting on your stove is. Everybody's stove is different, especially electric stove. Flatten that down in there. We're going to take the liquid part. Pour that in there. Give it all a good mix up in there. There we go. And this is where I'm going to add the oregano. It's Mexican oregano. I buy it there at Fred Meyer's in the Mexican food part there. Just put about a tablespoon in there. You don't have to if you don't like the oregano flavor, but I like the oregano flavor. Give that a good mix in there. And this is also what we're going to put in the camarón, the shrimp. And just put them in there and just put it around the top there. This is also going to give it a nice little flavor. If you like the shrimp flavor. Then just give it all. The shrimp don't even have to be mixed in there because they'll be steaming with the rest of it. Just make sure it's all flat there, touching the surface, getting some heat. And right here, this is where we're going to put in the green onion also. Just put that over the top of it. Don't mix it in there, just put it on the top. And when that green onion is cooking, the flavor from that's going to be pulled down in there and it's just going to be fantastic. And then you just want to, I'm about to sneeze here. Then you just want to bring that up to a simmer. You don't want to boil it. Remember, we're just cooking the rice. Everything else is done in there. We're just cooking the rice. Once that comes to a simmer, we're going to throw the lid on it and just let it sit there and cook for about 20 minutes. You can start checking after 20 minutes, but you about 20-25 minutes. And then you'll always want to have your little tasty spoon here. When that's up and you see most of the liquid is gone out of it, that's what we're aiming for. Just take a little taste of the rice. If it's not done enough for you, add a little bit more liquid, throw the lid back on there and cook it again, and just, you know, keep doing that until your rice is done. But remember, once all the liquid is done and the lid's on there, you take it off the heat, and we're gonna let this set for like 5-10 minutes after it's done. It's going to continue to steam, and so that rice is going to continue to get done and absorb more of the moisture. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. Okay, this is come up to a simmer now. I'm gonna take my lid here, toss on there, and then just gonna leave it there for the next 25 minutes. When that is done, I will come back and we're gonna plate this up and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. All right, just see you in the blink of an eye. Okay, folks, the jambalaya is finished, and as you can see here, right down here on this plate, you can zoom in here on this plate. This is how I'm serving this up here. We got these big old red tomatoes, these slicer tomatoes on our road trip where we did field ripened tomatoes. And I'm serving up with that, probably a little salt and pepper on them tomatoes. But as you can see, that rice absorbed all that nice juices and the flavor in there. The shrimp cooked up good. The sausage is all good. This is nice and spicy. It is, I mean, yeah, trust me, y'all. As my dad would say, that's there if you're showing up good vittles. And if you ain't liking it, I don't know what to tell you. But if you do like it, please take a second, subscribe, share this video, make a comment. You know, if you guys want to know how to cook anything, just let me know. I might be able to do it for you and put on the video. So yeah, anyway, I hope you like it, folks. Until next time, you know, this is Willis. Just, you know, everybody there in California and Oregon and Washington with all these fires going on, you know, we're praying for you. We're hoping you're safe. Till next time, God bless and good eats.